Hey, how's it going, guys? I went to the doctor and they had to stitch me up right here because they removed some kind of bump. So yeah, maybe like 15 stitches. So just trying to get that out of the way before I move on. This video is about creating your own service dog. I just want to touch on that a little bit because I see a lot of people wanting to create their own. I see it on people asking for help, and a lot of times they have kind of the wrong idea on how to approach this topic. If you have more than one dog, if you have two dogs, the chances of creating a service dog is very difficult unless you take that dog out of his or her environment and try to get them trained by a professional. In which case, it will end up costing a lot of money. You can't teach a dog with another dog in the way unless both dogs have the same ideal temperament, which is in the middle. Not too hyper and not too lazy, because they have to be smart enough and willing to learn. And so it really comes down to profiling first. What kind of dog do you have? And a lot of times we can separate the ones that may not make it in the world as service dogs. Like say you have a Great Dane, and I seen them on the list as an ideal service dog. Maybe as a dog that needs to support you, like for a paraplegic or someone with some physical disability. Well, I mean, everybody does when it comes to service dog, but you know what I'm getting at. You need to brace. You need to teach them to brace, and you're a larger person, so using a mini horse like a Great Dane would be ideal for that. But for the most part, the dogs that I'm usually thinking about are seizure dogs, the ones that can detect cancer, seizure, or any other kind of ailment that could be approaching, that can be sensed by the dog's nose. Their God-given gift, which we would consider magic if we could do it, right? So that's the beauty of having a dog, a service dog trained to do that. And just to put the magic aside, all dogs can pretty much detect this. I mean, it's just a matter if they care to tell you or not. So you need to teach them how to do that. So, but first, profiling, right? Genetic profiling involves having a dog that can, go into the public and not intrude, not be chasing around, not acting all skittish. And for instance, Gallagher right here at 7 months, I'm hoping, and this is the first time I'm having him, but I'm hoping he's in his fear stage, and dogs do have fear stage in the puppies. Hopefully they get over it when they're a puppy, because if you try to nurture them and protect them from their world, and a lot of parents do that with their children, right? If you protect them from discomfort too much, then as they get older, they don't know how to cope with this discomfort. It's the same with dogs. And my approach, to many people out there may be considered abusive, just because when they're crying or barking non-stop, that I refuse to acknowledge. I don't want them to learn that I'm going to help them when they're doing something wrong or doing something inappropriate. So for a service dog, everything gets multiplied, I don't know, 5-10-fold. It's not sitting for 5 seconds as a success, like in those Petco or PetSmart trainings that once a week. It's in 24/7 training lifestyle. So those of you that are teachers or of that kind of profession where you sacrifice your own lives, you understand that these professions aren't professions, they're lifestyles, right? And that's what a service dog is. It's a lifestyle. So you have to have a dog that lives this lifestyle. You can't have a dog that likes to run around every single day chasing after everything, and then when you want them to snap out of it, become a service dog, which I have seen. I'm pretty sure I've actually seen certain dogs like that, because if we think about a Malinois, we think of a super dog, right? We think of a dog that can handle warfare, bombs. They have grit. I love those dogs. Those and German Shepherds are are amazing, intelligent animals, and when they're really that smart and willing to learn, they can fit in any category. But it's more like acting. It's not like they're going to be able to live that life. At least not a happy life like that. But some German Shepherds can, because a lot of German Shepherds have been bred to be calmer. Malinois I haven't seen, and here's a little story. I was at the Florida airport. I think it was Disney World. It was Disney World, as a matter of fact. But this guy had a Malinois, and I'm thinking to myself, what is this Malinois doing in the airport? So I'm taking a good look. I'm thinking it could be one of those military dogs. And when I'm taking a good look, I'm talking about like 30 yards away. Okay, I'm not trying to intrude. I'm trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, because, PTSD and all that. You don't want to spook them by taking pictures, or especially when you're going to take a picture and then your camera has the flash on. That's just a move, and you know it. But I mean, these are accidents that could happen, so we got to be careful. They served our country. We don't want to with them. But anyways, he had a Malinois, and this Malinois was fidgety, but he stayed in one place. I mean, his feet were like this in one place, but he was just just one stop, like looking around. He would do these neck snapping turns, like if somebody walked by, he would just look and look. But in the end, after staring at this dog and trying to figure out what this dog was, he was a service dog. Now, that to a lot of people, and let's just get that out of the way. Service dogs to many people would be considered abuse, because they sacrifice their lives, and sacrificing to many people is a form of abuse. But dogs wouldn't have it any other way. That's why we have them. We bred them to work with us, work for us. The service dogs are at another level. We all could agree on that, right? So having a Malinois that's fidgety and all that to me is a little bit questionable, because there are plenty of other dog breeds that could do better, and wouldn't cause a distraction. And even me, as what I would consider somewhat of a professional, when I see that and see them fidgety like that, I'm thinking, what is the rest of the people in life seeing here? Because this dog looks a little bit on edge, a little bit high-strung. And high-strung, and we all know stress kills. So I wouldn't be surprised if a Malinois as a service dog with that kind of a temperament that I just saw in Florida would cut a few years off his life. But like I said, the dogs wouldn't have it any other way. They're there to help you. They love you that much. And so I have Gallagher here, and Gallagher is fidgety. He has that border collie characteristics of chasing. You'll see videos of him keep messing with Fluffy Bottoms, and Fluffy Bottoms has grit. And Fluffy Bottoms is so calm. If he were a dog, he would be a great service dog, other than the fact that he sleeps too much. But he's very calm, yet Gallagher is always trying to get a rise out of him, chase after him, and it kind of pisses me off. But I mean, that's just how border collies are. They're really hyper. So how am I supposed to get this border collie to become a service dog? I have to help him understand the lifestyle and make it second nature. And that's not once a week Petco PetSmart training. That's 24/7. Have to act very calm, talk very calmly, and border collies profile are stereotypically very sensitive. So I'm not trying to punish him in any way. I'll just have negative reinforcement, which means not giving him a reward if he does something wrong. So a lot of this training is psychological. I would have operant conditioning from Pavlov. These are like psychological forms of teaching that really help. I mean, I would teach him that a reward is conditioned by a neutral aspect, to a point where when I say good or yes, he would be salivating. You know, I would condition him to want to do things, but at a calm manner, and that's going to take a long time. That will take maybe a year, and of course, people aren't going to pay you a year to work on a dog unless it's, you know, dirt cheap. And I have a lot of clients waiting on for me to work with. So all I can do is what I've been doing, except be as explicit as possible and teach the owner how to act. And which is very hard because a service dog is supposed to help someone in need, and that person in need may not have the ability to teach them these things. So that's why in the near future I'm going to open up a facility and have these dogs come back over and over again. So I'm totally, as you can see, after 10 minutes I'm expressing the fact that you can make a service dog. It's just a matter of the approach. And ideally, guys, if you live in Houston and you want to take this route, maybe contact me and let me know so I can help you out and look past the beautiful eyes and the cuteness of a puppy, and I can probably help you identify which dog is going to be a good service dog for you. And in that sense, well, that would increase your chances of having a successful dog. Because sadly, what would happen if you got the dog thinking it's going to be a service dog and it ended up not working out? You get rid of the dog, and then it becomes a statistic at a shelter. And what's really beautiful about this fact, or what I'm talking about creating your own service dog, is you will find a lot of resilient dogs at the shelter. They're not jail dogs. I know a lot of people would assume these are dogs nobody wants. Well, if you look past the fact that they're in a shelter, if the dog has not lost their inner self, some dogs do get lost. You do know this, right? Like humans that have been in jail for too long. They lost their soul. They lost their spirit, so to speak. But when a dog hasn't lost their spirit and they have this calm demeanor, as if they've seen it all, and they are willing to learn, you got yourself a prospective service dog. And you have a greater chance of creating a service dog out of that dog than a puppy that hasn't gone through puberty. Well, this is 13 minutes already, so I'm going to cut it short. And if I come up with something else to talk about, then I'll talk about it then. This is my service dog how-to rant. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.